The War Written in Ink, a werewolf story. Previous episodes are available on the playlist. You can also visit our website for your favorite stories. A link is provided in the video description. Episode 3. The only sounds in my room are the screeching of the hangers sliding against the metal racks in my closet and the shuffling of fabrics. Calla isn't here to help me pick out clothes, so I have to do it on my own. I finally chose a white V-neck tank top with lace on the V and blue jeans. When I look in the mirror, I'm shocked by what I see. I don't look too bad. The light makes the different shades of brown in my hair stand out more, and my hair is naturally wavy. People have told me more than once that I put highlights in my hair, but this is the color it is naturally. The sun naturally lightens some parts of my hair, giving it a unique look that is different from most brunettes. My hair is probably the best thing about me. The more I look in the mirror, the more flaws I see in my appearance. So I decided to put on some light makeup before the Ice Twins get here. I like that name a little bit. I'm ready to go now that I've put on some light brown smoky eye, mascara, and lip gloss. I can see that I have 20 minutes before they come to get me by looking at the clock. I'm always ready early, and this time is no different. I grab the book The Catcher in the Rye and start to read it again. But I can't read more than a few pages before I start thinking about Jackson. I know I won't be able to focus on this book until I at least check in on him. We texted this morning, but it was just to say hello. I had to get ready for class soon after. I stop scrolling through our texts when I realize that I've never been the one to text first. He always says good morning to me or asks how my day has been. What a thoughtless thing to do. He probably thinks I'm really rude. I open a new message and type a short message. He doesn't have to answer if he doesn't want to. Hey, me, I'm proud of who I am. I'm getting more self-assured and less shy and pathetic than I was when I first met Jackson. He texted back right away. Broody, hi, sweetheart. What are you doing? Me, not much, just getting ready to go out with some friends. I'm ready too soon and I'm bored. The text bubbles appear, showing that he is typing a reply to me, but then they go away. I wait a few more seconds, and then my phone buzzes. I scream in shock, and my phone flies out of my hand and onto the bed. I hold my chest and try to calm my racing heart. I see that Jackson is calling me on FaceTime when I look at my phone. Should I answer? I have to answer, the guy I like is calling me. I swipe to answer and hold the phone up to my face. When I see Jackson's face on my screen, I smile right away. He also smiles. It looks like he's outside. There are only trees in the background. He must be out hiking or something. He also looks like he's not wearing a shirt, and I'm glad I can only see from his shoulders up, or else I'd be a stuttering mess. He says, I hate texting, and his voice breaks up a little because of the connection. My hands are too big, and I can never. Jackson stops talking and looks shocked. I can see his eyes getting darker through the phone, just like they do when he looks at me. It's one of the things I like most about him. I can't read his face very well, but his eyes say something else. Calla, he growls through his clenched teeth and tight jaw. I'm lucky he looks so good when he's broody because every time I've seen him so far, he's been broody for a little while. You look great. His praise makes my heart race. I say, "Thank you," and then I walk over to my dresser and put my phone down so that it leans against one of my bigger snow globes. Then I step back so he can see all of my clothes. Calla isn't here to help me pick out my clothes, but Jackson might be able to tell me if they're good for a night out with friends. I wasn't sure if this outfit was okay. Calla made fun of my last one, so I tried to pick something nicer. "What do you think?" I ask him. I look down right now, but when I hear a low sound coming from his throat, my eyes move up. He then clears his throat, which worries me a little. "Are you okay? Is your throat hurting?" He might be sick. That would explain all the noise he's making now. "No, I'm fine," he quickly says, brushing off my worry. "Change your clothes." The words I am about to say are dead in my throat. When I look down at my clothes, my eyebrows come together. But he told me I looked great earlier, but now he wants me to change? Did he lie before? "Don't do that, Calla." "What?" I say softly. He sighs and then rubs his face in anger. "You look beautiful. Way too beautiful. You're going out looking like that without me." He points at me and then tightens his jaw again. "Every guy in here is going to want you. And you are mine, remember." As I try to find the right words, my mouth opens and moves around like a fish that is crying. I didn't put on blush because my cheeks naturally turn red. I knew they would blush on their own. I nod my head up and down without saying anything, which makes Jackson's smirk grow. "Good. Where are you going, anyway?" he asks. A car honks outside just as I'm about to answer. I look out my window and see that Felix and Elise must be here to get me. "I'm going to this bar, but I don't know the name of it." It wasn't my idea. I cut Jackson off because I see that he wants to say something. I grab my phone, my bag, and a cardigan that I throw over my arm. "Jackson, I have to go. They're here." I thought Jackson was broody before, but now he must be really angry. "Calla, don't hang up on me. You're going to a bar? Where drunk, horny men hang out to take advantage of beautiful girls like you." Every word he adds makes him louder and louder until he's basically screaming at me. I don't get why he's so angry with me. I'm just going out with some pals. "Jackson, I don't have time for this. I'm not drinking. It'll be fine. If you want, I'll text you when I get home." The doorbell rings as I run down the stairs. I move slowly to the front door and try to open it while holding my purse, cardigan, phone, and keys. I must be Wonder Woman because I can open the door. Felix looks me up and down, then meets my gaze and smiles. "You always look great." I blush and am about to say something when my phone starts to ring. "Jackson. Who is that?" It was hard for me to hold everything in my hands and bring the phone up to my face, so I quickly told Jackson that he was my friend and that I would call him later. "Calla, don't even think about hanging up on me." "Who is I hung up?" I sighed, put my phone in my bag, and locked the door to my house. I didn't want to bother my mom and Maisie because they were still inside. We've been ignoring each other for 4 days now, and I'm still not talking to my mom. A laugh pulls me out of my thoughts. Who was that guy? Was he your boyfriend or something? No, I mumble. He's a good friend, I guess. You think? Felix says with a smirk. Don't you know if you're in a relationship? Shut up and let's go before I leave you alone with your sister, I say, pushing past him and heading for the car. I can feel my phone vibrating in my purse, but I don't want to deal with Jackson's caveman behavior right now. I just want to have fun and hang out with my new friends tonight. Felix drives us, and I sit in the passenger seat because Elise is in the back seat. By the way, where are we going? I ask. I know it's a bar, but that's all I know about this strange place. Oh, it's a new bar called Nectar Noir. I've heard great things about it. They have a lot of food and drinks, and there's music and dancing and hold on a second. I cut Elise off. I turn around so that I am facing her in the back seat. Are you taking me to a club? I yell at her, and she smiles sheepishly. I can't believe how bold she is. Elise! I yell. She raises her eyebrows and acts like lying to me about where we're going isn't a big deal. But really? Felix was the one who told me a lie. I turn around and push Felix in the shoulder. I could see that there were no other cars around, so pushing him wouldn't put anyone else in danger, even though he was driving. I know what's going on around me even though I'm angry. Felix, you lied to me. You said we were going to a bar, not a club. Take me home right now. I pout, cross my arms, and sink lower in my seat. I just did something that Maisie does all the time, but I don't care right now. Felix talks to me while keeping his eyes on the road. He looks at me every now and then. Calla, I'm sorry. Elise wanted me to go with her, and I didn't want to go alone. I thought it would be fun. I knew you wouldn't have agreed, and Elise said that if I lied, you would come, and it worked. I mumble, that's not right. Felix and Elise both laugh, as if they heard me. No, but really. Turn around. I'm not going to a club. Elise jumps out of the car and says, Girl, we're already here. And sure enough, the bright neon violet sign for Nectar Noir is right in front of me. I see a line of people outside and cringe inside. It might not be a good idea to tell them I'm claustrophobic right now. Felix unbuckles his seatbelt and looks at me. Come in. It'll be fun. He smiles at me, but it doesn't help my nerves about going in there. Jackson was mad when he found out I was going to a bar, but what will he say when he finds out it's really a club? What if he's right and a bunch of horny guys try to take advantage of me? I'll just stay in the car, and hearing my own seatbelt unbuckle pulls me out of my thoughts. Felix unbuckles the seatbelt and leans in close to me. Listen. We'll go in there for Elise for an hour or so. If you don't like it, let me know and we'll leave her. She can get an Uber or a ride with someone else. I look up at Felix. His platinum hair is styled with a gel that makes the front of his hair stick up. He also had on a plain white shirt and blue jeans. It made me smile a little that we were kind of matching. Okay. But I'm not happy about this. Don't lie to me again. Well, I didn't lie to you. I might have deceived you. Lie, cheat, whatever you want to call it, I say. It's wrong. Are you not learning anything in class? Felix smiles at me and opens the door. He yells, "Nope," and slams the car door shut behind him. I take a deep breath to get ready for the crazy night ahead. I get out of my car and join Felix and Elise for a night of dancing. We didn't have to wait in line after all. Elise talked to the bodyguard at the front, and he let the three of us in without even looking at our IDs. When I walk into the club, a wave of heat hits me. I'm glad I left my cardigan in Felix's car, or else I'd be sweating right now. People are sweaty even when they don't have much on as they grind against each other and sing along to the music that is blasting through the speakers. The club really does have purple velvet couches along the sides and metallic purple tables, just like its name says. The lights are purple, and disco balls hanging from the ceiling reflect the spotlights, making balls of light dance around the room. I bite my lip to keep from smiling. I've never been in a room with this much purple, and lavender is my favorite color. Felix sees me smile and pulls on my arm. "Come on, let's dance." I get pulled through a lot of people until I'm in the middle of the dance floor with the twins on either side of me. I'm nervously swaying in the middle of them at first, but when Elise starts grinding on my back, I jump forward, which just so happens to be right into Felix. "Oh, I'm sorry." Elise pushed. I stop talking when he puts his hands on my waist and pulls me forward so that I'm pressed against his chest. I put my hands on his chest to steady myself. Elise pushes herself against my back and starts to sway to the music. Her little black dress doesn't leave much to the imagination, and I'm feeling more scandalous because she's dancing so close to me and on me. My face must be a mess of red, and I'm glad the lights are low in here. I see that a lot of other people are dancing the same way as me right now. I feel so awkward and self-conscious, but the twins seem to be having a great time dancing around me. "Calm down, Calla," Felix says in my ear. He has to talk kind of loudly so that I can hear him over the bass, but I can still hear him. It doesn't help me calm down, though. Not at all. "Don't think, just listen to the music and react." He says this while swaying to the music, which makes me sway with him. I try to stop my mind from racing and dance, even though I'm breathing a little harder than normal. Since I'm not used to this kind of place, it makes sense that I would feel a little uneasy at first. Then, like a gift from the sky, Tones and I's song "Dance Monkey" comes on and I scream with joy. This song is great. As I sing the words, my hips naturally sway from side to side, and Elise does the same. I don't feel claustrophobic anymore, even though I'm stuck between the two of them. I forget that I'm in a club that's hot and sweaty. I don't remember the fight I had with my mom. I forgot how angry Jackson will be when I tell him what happened tonight. I let go and let my body do the talking as I raise my arms and sway, hop, and move in ways I've never done before. After 18 years, I've finally figured out that there's more to life than just reading about it. It's a whole different thing to go through it. We all have to wait 30 minutes before we are all covered in a sheen of sweat. I yell at Felix and Elise that I need water, then I leave them to get a drink. I walk over to the bar and try to sit down in the last empty bar stool. I have to hold on to the edge of the counter and jump as high as I can to get the same level as the stool. The first time I tried, I missed it because I'm so short. I got in the seat on my second jump. The bartender saw that I had failed and tried to hold back his laughter, but I could still see the corners of his lips turn up. I give him the best evil look I can by squinting my eyes at him. He puts his hands up to show that he gives up. Sorry. But that was cute. He winks at me, grabs a glass and a washcloth, and starts cleaning it while talking to me. Where's your man? He asks. I don't have a man. Why do I need one? I ask, tired of these arrogant guys who think I need to be claimed. Earlier, Jackson said something like that. Why can't I go out without a guy on my shoulder? It just doesn't add up for me. I'm here to have fun with friends and dance without worrying about men or relationships. Well, Felix doesn't count. The guy just raises an eyebrow at me and asks, "Do you know where you are?" I'm about to answer when Felix puts an arm around my shoulder and leans into me, staring at the bartender who was keeping me entertained before. I would stop talking to her if I were you, or else, I'm too busy looking at the bartender's scared face to see what Felix is doing. I see a flash of blue in the man's eyes. I turn to Felix quickly, but all I can see now are the purple lights from the spotlights above us. Did I just make that up? I slowly pull Felix's arm away from my shoulder. Felix, it's okay. He wasn't doing anything wrong, I say to try to calm him down. He looks upset for some reason. He looks at me with his dark brown eyes and smiles a little, but I can tell it's fake. But he hasn't done anything bad yet. Oh my God! You sound more and more like Jackson every second. I say, or more like scream out of frustration because the club is so loud. Felix's eyes get really big, and he holds onto my arm tightly. Did you say Jackson? Like Jackson Rowan? Ouch, Felix. You're hurting me. I yell, but he just pulls me off the bar stool and closer to the dancers. I'm sorry, Calla. But this is very important. Is that who you meant? Do you know him? I'm freaking out because his whole body is so intense, so I pull away from him as hard as I can while my eyes fill with tears. Yes. Is that what you want to know? We've been hanging out, but nothing serious has happened, okay? Not that it's any of your business. He looks hurt, which gives me the chance I need to leave. But I can see Elise, and she looks like she wants to ask me something, just like Felix did a few seconds ago. I make a split-second choice to run through the crowd and get lost in the sweaty dancers who look like they're having the time of their lives. Felix is calling my name, but I can barely hear it. I bury myself deeper until I reach the other side of the dance floor. I see a door, and without even thinking about where it goes, I run into it and end up standing on gravel. It's cold outside, but I don't notice because my heart is racing so fast. I knew this was wrong. I shouldn't have come here with Felix and Elise. But the strange thing is that I was having fun until they started acting strange. They both became so aggressive all of a sudden that it scared me to death. I take my phone out of my bag and call an Uber. There's no way I'm going to get in a car with them after tonight. A voice stops me from clicking order Uber. I jump and drop my phone flat on the ground. A little squeak comes out of my mouth as I look up at the biggest man I've ever seen, other than Jackson. This guy is over 6 feet tall and has slicked back blonde hair and pale skin. His ruby red eyes, not his bulging muscles or the sneer on his face, are the most shocking thing about him. His eyes say danger. I instinctively back away from him, but then I remember that I'm in a dead end. I put my hands up in front of me to protect myself, but I knew that if this man wanted to hurt me, I wouldn't be able to get away. Please, I don't want any trouble, I say. His laugh is the scariest sound I've ever heard, and it makes me want to hide. He steps closer to me and says, "What if that's what I want?" I can feel my heart racing faster than ever because I know I might not make it out of here alive. My fear only seems to make him more excited. His smile gets bigger and bigger as he gets more excited. That's when I see them. His teeth have fangs? What the heck? This situation makes me feel confused, scared, angry, and frustrated. Fear wins, but not before I ask him something. What are you? The man is suddenly right in front of me. He moved so quickly that all I could see was a blur of colors before he grabbed my arms above my head with one hand. He has a tight grip on my chin with his other hand. I scream as loud as I can, hoping that someone will hear me and help me. I really don't want to play the damsel, but that's all I can do right now. When my head hits the brick wall, it hurts a lot in my left cheek. The pain is spreading through my whole head now, and I can feel a big headache coming on. He just hit me. The man holds my face even tighter and gets really close to it. Don't say a word, little girl. I might let you live. Now, I want to ask you some questions. Do you know Jackson Rowan? What is wrong with this person? He told me not to make any noise, and now he wants me to talk to him? I can't answer him because I'm scared and still remember how much it hurt when he hit me. I keep breathing heavily, but I make myself not panic. This is like something I've read about in the books I read a lot. I never thought I would be the girl in trouble, waiting for a kind stranger to come to my rescue. I really wish Felix would come storming out of the club and scare the man with red eyes away. Or even better, I hope Jackson comes to save me and take me away from here. Maybe then I can finally ask him why so many people keep asking me if I know him. I had no idea he was this well liked. A sharp pain shoots through my left side again, and my lip breaks. A metallic taste fills my mouth, and I hate the taste of my own blood. But as the man collects the blood that has dripped from his finger, his red eyes get darker. He brings it to his mouth and sucks on it, closing his eyes as he drinks the blood like it's a delicious treat. Wow, you taste so good. I don't think I can let you go now. Hold on. I yell, moving my head as far away from him as I can. I don't mind that the back of my head is scraping against the brick wall I'm being held against. I care about this vampire guy who wants to eat me. I'll tell him anything at this point. Please don't hurt me. You wanted to know about Jackson? I'll tell you anything you want to know. The vampire grins at my lie. Of course I wouldn't do that to Jackson. This guy is clearly insane. Jackson would never be able to beat him because he is so fast and strong. But if I can buy some time, I hope that someone who walks by will see me and call the police. Okay, little girl. How much does he care about you? What? His laugh shakes me to my core again, and I know he can read my mind. It's okay, girl. I'll tell you. I think you mean everything to him. Hurting you would make him fall apart. Finally, the alpha can be destroyed, and I'll be the one to do it. 1 second I can only see his red eyes, and the next second he's being pulled away from me by a bear. As the creature bites, growls, and scratches the man, all I can see is black fur and claws. I can hear him grunt in pain, and then I hear a soft whine as he kicks the creature and runs away faster than the flash. My knees give out as I slide down the brick wall and hit me hard. I don't even know I'm crying until I see that the world looks cloudy and distorted to me. I can see the dark creature coming toward me through my tears. I cower away from it and put my head down between my knees to hide. I know this won't really keep me safe, but my first instinct is to hide. I know I'm going to hurt when the creature tears me apart. I don't expect to feel a wet nose gently pushing against my arm. I slowly raise my head and see a wolf, not a bear. A wolf that is as big as a bear, but still a wolf. It rubs its nose against my arm again and then licks it. I look at the wolf, and tears keep falling like rain in a storm. It looks like the wolf is sad that I'm upset, and it slowly backs away from me. I will never forget what it does next, no matter how hard I try. I see the wolf turn into a person right in front of my eyes, with the sound of bones cracking and ligaments moving. Jackson. What should someone do when their friend, who they've made out with a few times and really like, turns from a wolf to a person right in front of their eyes? Because I have no idea what to do, I want to run as far and as quickly as I can. I want to cry for hours and hours. I want to yell at the man in front of me. And those are all good choices, but I choose to sit on the dirty ground of the alleyway and stare at Jackson in shock. He was a huge black wolf just a few moments ago, and now he's the Jackson I care about. But is he really Jackson? That Jackson was a person. This Jackson is a huge jerk. I'm not crying anymore, but I'm shaking uncontrollably because I'm cold and shocked. When another wolf, this one brown and half a head shorter than Wolf Jackson, trots into the alleyway and hands Jackson a piece of fabric, I can see that I'm flinching and pressing my back as hard as I can against the wall. Jackson takes the black cloth out of the wolf's mouth and whispers something to it while he puts on the shorts. That's when I remembered that Jackson had been naked since he turned back into a person. His being doesn't bother me at all right now because I'm so upset. Jackson whispers something to the wolf and looks over at me every few seconds to make sure I'm still there. I can't run anywhere because he's blocking the alleyway and my legs feel like noodles right now. I don't think I could run if I tried. The brown wolf makes a low grumbling sound from its chest, which makes me whimper. I back up even more, scraping my arms against the brick wall as I move deeper into the shadows. When I whine like a baby, Jackson's head turns toward me, and his eyes are as dark as a predator's. There is one tear running down my face. How is this going on? Go, Jackson says in a voice that is probably normal, but because I'm so scared, it sounds like he's yelling. The wolf makes a noise like a person scoffing and runs away from the alley and into the woods a few blocks away. Jackson walks slowly toward me, making sure not to scare me. That's what I think he's doing. But I'm already scared of him, and nothing will change that. He's a beast. A creature with sharp teeth, claws, and a strong body that could kill me in a second. What does he want me to do? Run into his arms? Baby, are you okay? Did he hurt you? His low voice doesn't help me feel better. His voice and the fact that he's so close to me make my breathing speed up, which almost makes me have a panic attack. He sees that I'm upset right away and reaches for me, but he stops before he touches my skin. He pulls his hand back slowly, as if it hurts him. Breathe, baby. Take a deep breath. You're okay. You're safe. He keeps whispering things like this to me, and I slowly calm down. I look up at Jackson, who is worried, when my breathing is at a normal rate. What's happening? I don't. You're a. Oh my god. I cover my mouth with my hands right away as a horrible sob escapes. Jackson reaches for my arm, but I pull away from him again. I yell at him in a stern voice. Stop! Don't you dare come near me! Jackson probably looks shocked and sad when I curse because I never do. He raises his hands in surrender and moves to the other side of the alley, as far away from me as he can get. Calla, I'm so sorry you had to find out this way. I promise I'll explain everything to you later. But first, please let me see your injuries. I need to know you're okay. I'm already shaking my head back and forth, but the movement makes me wince loudly because the pain is coming from the back of my head. When I raise my hand to touch the source of the pain, I see red. My blood. I don't even have time to think about my injury before I turn to the side and throw up all over the ground. I don't even notice that Jackson is helping me lift my hair away from my face as I continue to throw up. I finally lean back against the wall after another minute of gagging and coughing. I can feel Jackson's hands on me. One is gently touching the back of my head, and the other is checking my wrists, which have red marks on them from when the vampire pinned me to the wall. When he touches the back of my head where it hits the rough bricks, I whimper. I can see that he is breathing heavily and his eyes are black. It's bleeding too much, he says, more to himself than to me. Jackson easily lifts me up by putting one arm under my knees and the other around my back. He starts to walk away with me, but I slowly start to squirm to get away. He might take me and kill me. Or eat me. No, I scream. Stop. Put me down, I say, but my words are getting mixed up and my vision is getting blurry. I try to push him away, but he doesn't even notice. I don't think he even cares. Baby, you're really hurt. You must have a really bad concussion. Relax, I'm going to make it all better. I'm taking you to the doctor right now. I don't have any more strength to fight him. I want to get away from him so badly, but the adrenaline is gone and I'm tired. I can't do anything but cry because I'm in so much pain. I cry, it hurts, and push my head into the crook of his neck. I know I'm weak, but I need to feel better right now even if Jackson says it. I know, sweetheart. I know. As I'm falling asleep because of the pain, I hear Jackson say, I'm going to kill him for touching what's mine. I wake up to a voice I don't know. It's deep, so I know it's a man, and the fact that it sounds rough makes me think he's older, maybe in his early 40s. I don't know what to say, Alpha. She's a person, so her injuries will take longer to heal. From what I've read, this is a normal reaction for a person after a trauma like hers. It's been 12 hours, David. 12 hours, and my friend is still basically in a coma. You need to do something. I know this voice. It's Jackson, and from the way he's talking and the number of times he's cursing, I'd say he's angry about something. Oh, Jackson, I'm always in a bad mood about something. I wonder what it is this time. I wish he would stop yelling, though. I want to go to sleep. With all due respect, Alpha, I am the doctor here. I'm telling you that your friend will be fine. She may have a headache and some light scrapes and bruises, but she will be fine. The vampire didn't feed from her or inject his venom. A loud noise cuts off the voice of the unknown man. If I weren't so tired, I would have probably opened my eyes to see what it was. Hey, Calla says softly. Trust me, I'm just as angry. She's strong for a human. She'll be fine and eating like a pig in no time. I don't eat like a pig. She doesn't eat like a pig, Jackson says to protect me. She's cute. Ezra says, we know. He didn't mean anything by it. You know how Calla is, hold on. Why is everyone in my room partying while I'm trying to sleep? I try to pry my eyes open with all the strength I can find, but it takes a lot more effort than it should. When my eyes finally open, I quickly close them again because the lights in this room are so bright. The room is white, and the lights are so bright that I can't keep my eyes open for long. I open them again a little while later and squint my eyes. I don't think something is right. I don't know this room. This is not my room. Why am I not in my room? When I move my arm, I feel a light pull on my hand. When I look down, I see that there is an four sticking out of it. It takes me a moment, but once I realize how bad my head hurts, the memories of the night before come rushing back. All the voices stop when I suddenly take a breath. Jackson is suddenly standing over me, his Jackson blue eyes showing a mix of relief, sadness, and guilt. It doesn't matter what Jackson thinks. He told me a lie, so I can't believe him anymore. And I'm afraid of him. The only thing I can think of right now is getting as far away from him as I can. Not how my skin feels when he holds my hand. I sit up quickly, but I wish I hadn't because my head starts to spin. My body leans to the side without me knowing it, and Jackson grabs my shoulders. But his touch only makes me more afraid. I don't want that beast to touch me. When I lean away from Jackson and jump off the bed, my throat makes a noise that doesn't make sense. I can get away from Jackson's touch and off the bed because he didn't expect that. And straight to the floor. If strong arms hadn't caught me around the waist and lifted me up to stand, I would have fallen all the way down. I don't think my legs want to work right now, and the person holding me seems to know this because they keep hugging me. Easy there, Calla. I don't want you to hurt yourself, a voice I know says. Hey, Calla. I look up at him and see that he's not joking around like he usually does. He doesn't smile, and the bags under his eyes are so big that they look almost purple from not getting enough sleep. He looks like a mess, but I'm so glad he's here that I could cry. I do cry, though. And the crying makes my head hurt more, which makes me cry more. Yes, it's a cruel, never-ending cycle of me being a big baby. Right now, I can only feel. Calla, I'm so glad you're here. Please help me. I cry, and my tears probably soak Skylar's red hoodie. Skyla holds me close and protects me. I feel safe in his arms. Until I hear a loud growl coming from somewhere in the room. When I hear his voice, I shake uncontrollably and pull my head deeper into Skylar's hoodie. "Get your hands off of my friend," Jackson says. I cry even louder, sure now that Jackson is talking about me. Is he calling me a friend? What does that mean? Jackson, I respect you as an alpha. But right now, you need to back up. Can't you see that you're scaring her? She's never going to accept you if she's scared of you, Skyla says, hugging me tighter as he says this. He is still holding me up because I can't stand, and it seems like it's not hard for him at all. Another animalistic growl is all it takes for me to start crying again. Jackson, he's right. Calm down and look at Calla. Look at how scared she is right now. Stop acting like a possessive wolf and be a person for a second, Ezra says firmly. The growling stops all of a sudden, and I breathe a sigh of relief. A voice breaks the silence after a few moments. Calla. His voice is soft but firm. I know I shouldn't, but I pull my face out of Skylar's hoodie and slowly turn my head to look at Jackson. When I look into his eyes, I'm surprised to see that they have some tears in them. Even though he won't let them fall, I can still see how he feels. I'm sorry if I scared you, but I was just worried that you were hurt. You keep backing away from me like I would hurt you, which I would never do. I care so much about you, Calla. So much more than you could ever know. And I know you're confused right now, but would it be okay if I held you? He asked this last question with a sense of desperation. It's crazy how much my heart wants him to touch me. I want so badly to make his sadness go away, but my mind won't let me. I can't stop thinking about how I should run away from him. My mind still thinks of him as the big black wolf that was biting the red-eyed vampire last night. And since my mind is like this, I can only cower away from him when he reaches out to touch me. It's just instinct. I can see that he is disappointed and defeated as he slowly lowers his outstretched hand. Jackson has been so open about what happened last night that I almost forget that Skyla and Ezra must be very confused about why I'm scared and hurt by Jackson. But when I look at their faces, they look sad that I won't touch Jackson. I gasp and quickly break free from Skylar's hold, my eyes widening in shock. He seems shocked by my sudden move, but I don't care at all. It took me this long to put the pieces together that I got into Ivy League schools. How hard did I hit my head? I ask Ezra, who seems to be holding Jackson back with a tight grip on his shoulder. You too? He nods his head in shame. I take a step back and then turn to Skyla with new tears running down my face. Ezra and you? He nods his head, and tears well up in his own eyes. Calla, I can explain, don't come near me. Any of you. I yell as I raise my hands in front of me to protect myself. Honestly, I know that if any of them wanted to hurt me, they could have done so while I was asleep. But my brain isn't thinking clearly, it's only thinking emotionally. I whisper, "You're all werewolves." They shake their heads. I start to blink my eyes over and over again to try to get rid of my blurry vision and pounding head. When I turn my head the wrong way, I feel a big bump in the back of my head and wince. Ow, I say. It looks like Jackson is going to blow up. He has never looked so upset before, especially when he looks at me. It's frightening. The doctor said you have a concussion and that stress is bad for your health. Please sit on the bed if you won't let anyone help you. I do what he says, but only because my head hurts so much and he probably knows what he's talking about when it comes to medical advice. When I sit down on the bed, I look around and see that this isn't a normal hospital. There's an 4-stand and a regular hospital bed, but a window outside shows a forest that looks like it goes on for miles and miles. Where am I? I ask in a slow voice. You're at the pack house, Jackson says. I ask, what the heck is that? Never mind. I want to go home. Can I go home? Yes. No, yes. Ezra, Jackson, and Skyla all answer at the same time. Jackson is the one who says no. Ezra and Skyla glare at Jackson, then look back at me. You can go home, Skyla says. I'll take you. No, Jackson's loud voice fills the room, daring anyone to go against him. I shake with fear again. She needs to stay while we talk this out and record her recovery. A vampire attacked her last night. I want to know why. It can't be a coincidence that the bloodsucker went after her. She needs to go home and think about what happened, not be forced to stay here. If you take away her choices, how will she ever respect you? Skyla says protectively. I'd be careful how you talk to your alpha, Jackson says, moving closer to Skyla. Okay, that's enough. Ezra's voice is soft but strong, and it cuts through the tension. Skyla, you take Calla home. Jackson looks like he wants to say something, but Ezra holds up his hand to stop him. We're leaving to question the vampire. That's the best way you can help her right now. It looks like Jackson wants to argue more, but one look from Ezra makes him look over at me in bed. I'm sitting on the bed right now with my face on my knees and looking up at the scary men in the room. Jackson storms out of the room with a sigh and a ruffle of his own hair. Ezra quickly follows him. Now I'm alone in the room with Skyla, another friend who turned out to be a wolf. I can breathe a little easier now that Jackson and Ezra are gone. I'm still not completely at ease because I'm still with Skyla, but I feel a lot less stressed. I let out a breath to try to calm down. Skyla is looking at me carefully, and I can't stop looking at him. I'm trying to figure out what's going on by watching how he moves, where his muscles tense, and where his eyes are looking. I don't know if Skyla really plans to take me home or if he was just making things up. I jump back and start to breathe heavily when the door to the room opens. Skyla sees that I'm upset and comes over to calm me down. But when he sees that what he did makes me feel worse, he stays where he is and tells me that the pack doctor is just here to check on me. I shake my head back and forth and hold my hands in front of me to protect myself. The man stops in the doorway and doesn't come any closer. This helps me calm down a little. Hello, Calla. My name is David and I'm a doctor here. May I please check your wounds? Once I give you the all clear you'll be allowed to go home, he says softly. Are you one of them? I whisper, but he can hear me from across the room because his hearing is better. Yes, I am a werewolf. I'm a doctor. I won't hurt you, I just want to make sure you're okay. It's my job and my duty, he says. My eyes drift to Skylar's without me meaning to, as if to check that David is telling the truth. Skyla gives me a little nod and a small smile to let me know everything is okay. I slowly nod my head, giving the doctor permission to look at my wounds, even though I'm not sure what to do. What else can I do if this is the only way I can leave and they say they won't hurt me? I can't just fight my way out. Instead, I have to believe and hope that what they say is true, that I'm safe here. David looks at the back of my head and tells me to be careful and not lie on it until it heals. He tells me to be careful with my eyesight and to call him if I get dizzy. He gives me his number, but I don't think I'll ever call him. If my concussion gets worse, I'd rather go to the hospital and see real doctors and nurses than a werewolf doctor who could turn into a wolf and kill me at any time. Still, I nod and act like I agree with everything he says. I really hope that if I do what he says, he'll let me go. Skyla comes up to me after David finally leaves. I'm glad you're okay. I was worried about you last night. That vampire really got you good, he says as he walks over to me. I do get tense when he's close to me, but I'm proud to say that I stay calm the whole time. Skyla was my friend. Is he still my buddy? I have no idea what being a werewolf means for our friendship, and I don't even want to think about what it means for my relationship with Jackson. I'm really confused right now. My life was normal just yesterday. My life is so complicated now that there are supernatural beings in it, like the ones I read about in books. I've read about a lot of heroines who beat monsters and supernatural beings in their lives, but when it happens to me, I don't know what to think. Doc cleared you, so would you like me to take you home now? Skyla says. Where's my phone? I'll just call an Uber. My mom is probably freaking out, I say as calmly as I can. But I'm getting more and more worried about how my mother will react. It's the middle of the afternoon, and I've been out all night. I don't even know what she'll think happened to me, but I have to get home right now. Skyla says firmly, almost like a soldier following orders, sorry, Calla. The orders were for me to drive you home. Skyla had a strangely serious look on his face. I've always seen him in a silly mood, not like he is now. And besides, your phone is dead, so that wouldn't work. I don't have any other choices right now, so I ask the only question I can. Will you keep me safe? Of course. Calla, you're my best friend. Just because you know what I am, it doesn't change that. At least, not for me, he says, making me feel a little guilty. The guilt makes me mad. I shouldn't be the one who's mad. He is the one who told me a lie about what kind of animal he is. If we were best friends, how could he keep such a big secret from me? Fine. It's not like I have a choice, I said the last part quietly, but I'm pretty sure he heard me because he frowned a little. There was a tense silence for the first 5 minutes of the car ride. Skyla led me to a black Range Rover, a car I had never seen before, after we got out of the mansion. The hospital room I was in was just a room in a huge mansion. I know that wasn't his car, but I didn't ask whose it was. We had to drive through the forest to get back to my house. There was only one path that was clear for cars to drive on. I guess the werewolves like to be alone. Skyla broke the silence after 5 minutes of silence. He asked, "Do you know what mates are?" He kept looking at my face to see how I would respond to what he said, maybe to see if I would lie to him. No, I said honestly. I did hear Jackson call me a mate earlier, but I didn't know what that meant. Skylar's laughter echoed through the quiet car, and it almost made me forget that he was a werewolf who could hurt me. Almost. Calla, you're Jackson's mate. You don't even know how much power you have over him and everyone else, he yells. It's hard to understand why he's so excited. How do I have any power over werewolves? I don't get it, I say, my eyebrows scrunched and my eyes darting around in confusion. I probably shouldn't be the one to tell you this, but I've never been good at keeping secrets. Every werewolf has a mate, or soul mate, he says. I nod, hoping he'll finish explaining. He keeps going and smiles. You and Jackson are meant to be together. You were meant to fall in love and live happily ever after and all that. My heart stops beating for a second, and my eyes almost pop out of their sockets. In my head, all the dots start to connect. This would explain why I care so much about him. It would explain why a simple smile from him makes my day and why I get butterflies every time we touch. Why do I feel nervous every time he looks at me? That's not all, Skyla says, and I don't think I could handle any more life-changing news. I found out that werewolves and vampires are real and that my friends are supernatural in the last 12 hours. Now I know that Jackson is my soulmate. What's next? To keep order, werewolves live in packs. There has to be a leader, an alpha. Any ideas who Jackson is? As I try to make sense of this new information, my heart starts to race. Are you saying that Jackson is the leader, the alpha, of your pack? I ask, hoping that Skyla is just kidding. With a smile, he says, that's exactly what I'm telling you. Don't worry so much, Calla. Jackson is the alpha, which means he is the strongest, fastest, and most protective male in the pack. That means you are the safest person in the world because he protects you. He would never let anything happen to you. How do I know he won't hurt me? You just said he's the fastest and strongest. I yell at Skyla, forgetting that I shouldn't be yelling at a werewolf. Skyla suddenly becomes serious, and I can tell that what he's about to say is very important. You're his queen, his Luna. He can't live without you, and neither can the whole pack. He would never hurt you. Think about all the times you were together. Did he ever give you any sign that he wanted to hurt you? In any way? I didn't say anything and just listened to Skyla. It's true that Jackson never tried to hurt me, in fact, he was always too careful with me. He growled when people got too close to me, hugged me for a long time, and always asked how I was doing. My fear of him is going away a little, but I'm still not sure I can trust him. Calla, you need to put your human beliefs aside and accept him for who he is. We're just like you, only we're werewolves. Right, I said with a laugh. Except for your sharp claws, pointy teeth, super strength, super speed, and super hearing. Skyla hit my arm softly to stop me. I thought he was funny. Stop talking. We're animals, but we're also people. The rest of the ride is quiet and relaxing. I'm still not sure how I feel about the whole thing, but I'm starting to think about it more and more as time goes on. I remember something I should have asked a long time ago as we got closer to my neighborhood. Skyla. He hummed as he drove. Who attacked me last night? Why? Should I be scared that he'll come back to kill me and my family? Skyla turned his head to look me in the eyes. That vampire will never touch you again. He's in the pack prison, and he'll stay there until we decide he's no longer useful, he growls. Skyla finishes his sentence just as he turns onto my street. As he pulls into my driveway, I suddenly remember that I have a lot more questions to ask. Wait. Why did the vampire come after me? He knew I knew Jackson. How did he know? And did he know I would be there? My mom yanked open the passenger door, cutting off my many questions. She looked angry. Get inside. Now. My mother tells me. I quickly follow her to the front door with wide eyes. Right now, I don't care about being afraid of the vampire anymore. Instead, I'm afraid of my angry mother. This is the angriest I've ever seen her, and I know she's right to be angry this time, unlike the last fight we had. She gives Skyla an evil motherly look, slams the door, and then turns all of her attention to me. Where were you, Calla Dalton? You were out all night and never called me. Then you show up in the middle of the afternoon with your friend looking like you've been beaten up. What happened? I can hear the worry in her voice even though she's screaming. She is looking for cuts and bruises on my pale skin by moving her eyes over my body. Mom, it looks worse than it is, I say. I can't tell her the truth, so I'll have to use selective truth-telling and small lies to get her to not ground me for life. I went to a club with Felix, Elise, and Skyla last night. It was really crowded, and someone bumped into me and I fell. I was so tired that I fell asleep at their house. I say the lie so smoothly that I'm surprised it sounds so real. Calla, why didn't you call me? I was so worried. She yells and then hugs me so hard that my bones hurt. I didn't see her crying until I felt her salty tears on my shoulder. I hug her right away, and I feel better right away. We both needed to feel better. After a few moments of hugging, I let go of her and said sorry again. Sorry, Mom. I didn't mean to make you worry. I wasn't sure if you were mad at me or not. She screams, I don't care how mad you think I am at you, and the sudden change in her mood shocks me. You're my daughter. Of course I want to know where you're going and when I shouldn't expect you home. Oh, Calla. She hugs me again, and I just stand there and listen to her. I can't talk because my face is pressed against her shoulder. I owe you an apology. I shouldn't have yelled at you like that. You've never been late to babysit Maisie, and I was worried about you when you didn't answer. When I saw you were with Jackson, my anger only grew. I'm sorry, Mom. I got too excited and... No, she says, grabbing my hand and looking at me with her eyes slightly watery. You can act your age and go out with boys. I was just stressed out about work and money and took it out on you. I'm so sorry for that, honey. Can you forgive me? I nod my head and give her a small smile. Of course, I say, holding up my thumb and pointer finger and almost pinching them together. I thought you were overreacting a little. We laughed, and she put her hand over her mouth to keep her laughter in check. I don't know why she always does that. She has one of those laughs that makes you want to laugh along with her. But really, Mom, if you need money, let me help you. The money I make at Steamy Bean Cafe can really help us out. No way, she says, letting her pride get in the way. I'm the mother, and I can support us on my own. I want you to save that money for your future or go shopping for once in your life without me having to make you. When was the last time you went to the mall? She asks. Ugh, Mom. You know there are a million other things I'd rather do. Like going to the bookstore, we both think but don't say. She gives me a knowing look, but thankfully she changes the subject. Sadly, she brings up Jackson instead. How did your date with Jackson go? I can tell that my mom sees me stiffen because of the look on her face. What? She asks. I thought you and him were friends. We were. Not anymore, I say, hoping she won't ask me anything else about it. But things don't always go my way when my mom is as nagging as she is. What happened? I was starting to like that boy, she says, which really surprises me. I thought my mom would be mad at Jackson because I was late to see Maisie. It makes sense that she likes him now that I've decided not to see him. He lied to me, I say quickly. I can feel the familiar tightness behind my eyes, which means I'm about to cry. A few blinks in my eyes make the tears that were about to fall go away. I don't want to cry anymore. My mom takes us to the soft brown couch where we've had more talks than I can count. I sit down in my usual corner, and she sits next to me. What did he lie to you about? My mom asks, and I can tell she's a little angry. She seems calm, but I know from living with her for years that the thought of a guy hurting her daughter makes her motherly instincts kick in. I cross my arms over my chest and don't look him in the eye. It doesn't matter. He lied, and I don't believe him anymore. Honey, I'm sorry. Guys like him can be jerks sometimes. I really thought he cared about you, but he wouldn't have seen other girls if he really cared about you, she says, her voice full of sadness. My face naturally scrunches up as I turn my head to look at her. Other girls? What is she saying? I say, what, to echo what I'm thinking. Oh, my mom says with a sigh of relief. When you said he lied to you, I thought you meant he was cheating on you with someone else. I mumble, he can't cheat if we weren't together. That's true, we weren't dating, so he wouldn't have been lying if he chose to spend time with other girls because we never talked about that. I don't like the idea of Jackson being with any other girl besides me, and it makes me sad to think about it. What is wrong with me? He's a real werewolf. I look at my mom and say, and besides, it doesn't matter. I'm never talking to him again. She just smiles at me and pats my knee. Okay, if that's how you feel. She keeps giving me that look, the one that says, stop lying to yourself. I can tell she's teasing me, and I don't like it. I don't get why she thinks she knows what's going on. She always thinks I'm overreacting after I tell her very little. Stop, Mom. I'm serious. I say in a voice that is a little louder. She keeps giving me the same look and shaking her head. Calla, I saw how you two were looking at each other when he came over. You couldn't stop staring at each other. I know you didn't notice it, but every time you looked away, he would look at you like you could do no wrong. I've never met a guy who looks at me that way, and I'm so glad you found him. Don't throw it away just because you're scared. The last comment makes my eyes get really big. How does she know I'm afraid? Is it that clear? She laughs at how shocked I look. Calla, I can read you like an open book. Yes, it's very clear that you're afraid of being in a relationship and letting someone get that close to you. Don't think I haven't noticed all the guys who have tried and failed to get a date with you. You always say no. Say yes this time and stop making excuses for why you two can't be together, she says, then she looks at her watch to see what time it is. She jumps up right away and goes to the door. Got to go, honey. Maisie's play date is almost over. She kisses me on the head quickly and then leaves our house, leaving me with her words ringing in my head. Is that what I've been up to? Pushing Jackson away? He is a werewolf. I think it's safe to say that things would never work out between us. But the more I think about him, the more I remember how kind and sweet he was to me. I know in my heart that he would never hurt me. But my brain is a pain and won't stop thinking about how he might lose control and turn into a wolf. I've read books about fantasy. A lot of werewolf books have the main character getting hurt by her werewolf boyfriend, even if it was on purpose. I worry that something like that could happen to me. Also, Jackson is an alpha werewolf, which means he is the leader of a big pack of werewolves. What would that mean for me? I'm a person, and I'm weak and frail compared to his strong form. What could I possibly add? And to make things worse, why would he want me with him? Calla says we're meant to be together, but what does that mean? It sounds to me like he has to be with me, the person. Shouldn't he find another werewolf girl to be with him, love him no matter what, and help him lead his pack? The idea of Jackson being with someone else makes me shiver, and not in a good way. What's wrong with me? I don't want to be with him, but I also don't want him to be with anyone else. When will I stop being dishonest with myself? The weekend went by very slowly. I got texts from Jackson, Calla, Felix, and Elise all weekend long, but I decided not to use my phone, so I didn't even stop to read them. I spent the rest of Saturday and Sunday thinking about what I had learned and spending time with Mom and Maisie. We all ate together and watched more movies than I want to admit. I know they were all kids' movies, but I still really liked Frozen and Tarzan. I'm nervous about going to class on Monday. I know that Calla and I have psychology together, and he will want me to talk to him. I'm scared to see him after what I found out, but I won't skip class to avoid him. My perfect attendance record. After I make breakfast for myself, I get dressed and go to the cafe to get a big cup of coffee. That part of my life hasn't changed, at least. After that, I go to the psychology building. I stand in front of the building's main doors, wondering how our talk will go. Will he be angry that I didn't answer his texts all weekend? Will he be glad to see me? I feel a hand on my shoulder before I can even reach for the door handle. It scares the daylights out of me. I flinch right away because the memories from the other night are still fresh in my mind. When I see that it's Felix who came up to me, I'm still scared. I don't like that there's something different about him that's making me feel uneasy. I could never figure out what it was before, but now that I see him with his almost white hair and sharp features, I suddenly think he might be a werewolf or a vampire. He got a little aggressive at the club when he grabbed me, and he did act weird. His morals are, at best, questionable, and he always shows up at the strangest times. But I can't just say he's a supernatural being. What if he's just a regular person like me? Calla, where have you been? He yells at me, and some other students on their way to class look over. I usually get nervous when people pay attention to me, but this time I get angry. Who does he think he is yelling at me and hitting me before class? I had every right to be angry with him. He says, "You left the club, I texted you all weekend, and now you show up on campus with a bruised face." His anger is rising. But now I can tell that he's worried too. I guess he was worried about me when I disappeared. That doesn't change how he acted at the bar. "I'm fine, Felix. You don't have the right to talk to me like that. What you did at Nectar Noir was completely wrong." I try to open the door, but he steps in front of me and blocks it. "I'm sorry," he says. "I just had to know. It was very important." "Why did you need to know if I knew Jackson? Why was that little piece of information so important that you had to grab my wrist like that?" I ask, cutting him off from whatever crap he was about to tell me. Felix thinks about what he wants to say to me for a few moments before sighing. "I can't tell you." As I let out a chuff of air, my jaw relaxes. I shake my head back and forth and slowly cross my arms over my chest. "You can't tell me? Okay, then get out of my way," I say with a straight face. "Calla, you have to know how sorry I am. Get out of my way." I say each word slowly and clearly to show how serious I am. As the seconds go by, I feel more and more scared. Felix is getting mad again, and his breathing is getting faster too. I'm trying to act tough, but I'm really scared that he'll get mad. I don't know Felix very well, and even if he's not a supernatural being, he can still hurt me. "Calla, I'm not going anywhere until you listen to me. You need to understand," I stopped him. "Get out of my way, Felix. I don't need to know anything." My voice shakes, but I stay strong. Felix doesn't move to leave, and I'm afraid he won't let me go to class until I do what he says. I don't want to hear him out right now, especially since he's acting so strangely. There are other students nearby who are watching us, but none of them do anything to help me. They all just stand there and watch us argue like it's a movie scene. Felix tries to touch my shoulder. A deep voice stops him just before he can touch me. "Touch her and see what happens." The voice made me feel better right away. It's strange because the voice is supposed to scare everyone else, but for me, it makes me feel better. Felix looks up and sees the man who threatened him. His eyes widen, and he pulls his hand back. "Talk to you later, Calla," Felix says angrily, upset that he was interrupted before he could fully explain himself. "No, you won't. Get out of here before Jackson sees you," Skyla yells, and Felix shakes with fear as Skylar's smile grows. I smile at Skyla gratefully after Felix leaves. Felix scared me so much that I'm now shaking and unsure of my friendship with him. I can't explain why, but I immediately wrap my arms around Skyla and bury my face in his chest. I missed him over the weekend. I missed Jackson more, but I can't even think about how things were between us. Calla is in front of me right now, so I'm going to pay attention to him. He is still my best friend, no matter what kind of animal he is, because he came to my defense. I don't care that he is a werewolf anymore. I guess that makes me weak for forgiving him so easily, but I need his jokes and swearing in my life. Whoa there, Calla, Calla laughs as he almost falls over because my hug is so strong. He hugs me back tightly. When he squeezes me too tightly, I remember how strong he is as a werewolf. I tap him on the shoulder lightly to get his attention. I can't breathe, I squeak to Calla, who drops his arms and backs away from me as if I teased him. Sorry. I forget how weak you are. Are you okay? He asks with worry. His messy brown curls keep falling in his face, and he angrily pushes them out of the way. When I laugh, he stops looking worried. Calla, I'm fine. Can we go to class? We walk to psychology next to each other without saying anything about what happened. When we sit down, I look at my phone and see that the class should have started 2 minutes ago, but the teacher isn't there. I turn to Calla because I have nothing else to do but wait for her. May I ask you something? Calla leans back in his chair and stretches his arms and legs. He yawns loudly, which turns a few heads. Go ahead and ask, he says with a smile as he leans back on his hands and looks at me. I don't know how to word the question I want to ask, so I just ask it in the simplest way I can. I also speak more softly so that no one else can hear what we're saying. How can you tell if someone is a supernatural? His eyebrows shoot up and get lost in his brown hair. He sits up and leans forward, resting his forearms on his thighs. He goes from looking carefree to worried. Sorry, but you won't be able to tell. At least not clearly. We werewolves can smell out different supernaturals right away, but you'll have to look for clues. Like with the vampire, his eyes turned red, I say softly, more to myself than to him. Calla can still hear me, and his eyes get so dark that they look almost black. Calla, your eyes. I slowly back away from him, moving my chair back until I'm as far away from him as I can get without looking suspicious to other people. He shuts his eyes, and a few seconds later they open to show the same brown color that I'm used to seeing. Sorry, he says in a rough voice. Just the thought of that vampire touching you, he laughs in a dark way. How do you think Jackson feels? I'm so mad right now. I wouldn't be surprised if that vampire dies again soon for touching his mate. Jackson is going to kill him. I stammer, biting my lip and gripping the armrests so tightly that my knuckles turn white. He's an alpha, and his Luna got hurt. He's going to do a lot more than that. I can't believe it. I can't believe the vampire will die, but it doesn't bother me as much as it should. I should be horrified that he will be tortured and suffer, but instead I feel safer. Shouldn't I feel bad? I don't know what to say, so I just nod my head slowly. The doors at the back of the lecture hall open suddenly, and our professor runs down the aisle to the front of the room. She says she's sorry for being late and asks us to give her a few minutes to get ready. I turn to Calla shyly while I wait for the lecture to start. I'm sorry I didn't pay attention to you this weekend. He just smiles at me and pokes me with his arm. It's okay, I understand. That's a lot to take in. I wasn't ignoring just you, I wasn't responding to anyone, I say, hoping he understands that I just needed some time away from people, not just him. Oh, I know, he laughs as he pulls out his laptop from his bag. Jackson has been a little brat all weekend. His room is a mess because he keeps punching walls and stuff. I haven't had any time with Ezra because he had to take over almost all of the alpha duties while Jackson had his mental breakdown. I ask, what? Is he okay? Well, more like the demand to know. As I wait for Calla to explain, my worry for him grows. My heart is racing and my leg is shaking because I'm so scared. No, he's not okay. Calla laughs. Why would he find that funny? You didn't let him stay with you, so you ignored him all weekend. He thinks you're scared of him and will never accept him. We had to stop him from running to your house at least 5 times, he says. I cover my mouth with my hands as I sit there, shocked. I didn't know that ignoring Jackson would hurt him that much. Calla says, of course it affects him. That's when I remembered that I said that last part out loud. I tried to tell you in the car the other day. Now that Jackson has finally found you, he can't live without you. Ezra is my mate, and it's hard to be apart from him for a day. He's the beta of the pack, which means he's second in command after Jackson, so I didn't see him much while he was working. Mates are not like anything in human society, we are mentally and physically weaker without each other. The professor starts the lecture, and I start taking notes with little enthusiasm. My thoughts go to Jackson every time the lecture stops for a moment. I should probably go see him soon. But now I'm not afraid of him. I'm scared of how much he loves me. What else is he willing to do if he's willing to kill for me? I've never had a boyfriend or girlfriend. This is the first time I've ever liked a guy romantically, and this is not how things usually go. I can't ask for help from any advice columns. What should I say? Excuse me, but my werewolf friend is punching walls and killing vampires for me. What does that mean for our relationship? I feel and hear something on my hands while I'm lost in thought. I look down and see 20 pens that Calla gave me. The pens can't stay on the desk again, so most of them fall to the floor and make sounds that probably aren't too loud. But in the quiet lecture hall, they could be compared to the sound of missiles being fired. I glare at Calla, but he just shrugs and can't help but smile. I didn't know if you were going to forgive me or not. I needed a backup plan. Calla tried to get me to go to the pack house with him after class to make up with Jackson. I really wanted to talk to Jackson, but I couldn't because I had to work at Steamy Bean Cafe. When I found out what the pack house was, I also freaked out. After the vampire attack, I was taken to this house, which was more like a mansion than a house. Calla told me that it's where important members of the pack live. So it's like a big hunting ground full of werewolves that are much stronger and faster than I am. I really don't want to go there anytime soon. I might be getting used to the idea that my friends are werewolves, but I'm not ready to meet werewolves. I don't know. Calla still sent me the address in case I changed my mind, but that won't happen. I still smiled and gave him a hug to reassure him that I would think about it before I left. I walked home, quickly changed into my uniform, and then left again. I got to Steamy Bean Cafe 10 minutes before my shift started. I see that my friend Natalie is working the same shift as me after I clock in. I hurry into the break room and see her on her phone, probably looking at Instagram. When she sees me at the door, she looks up and jumps to her feet right away. She runs up to me and gives me a big hug. I laugh and hug her back just as tightly. I laugh and say, "Nice to see you too." Natalie lets go of me, but not before hitting me hard on the shoulder. Ow! What was that for? I whine as I rub the red spot on my arm. That's what you get for ignoring me all weekend. I called and texted a lot, but you never answered, she says with a pouty face. I had to hang out with Judy instead, she says, shivering for effect. I know she doesn't like Judy, a girl we both went to high school with. Natalie, on the other hand, says she keeps Judy around as a backup friend in case any of her real friends can't be there. I think it's mean, but Natalie is okay with it. I'm so sorry. I didn't know you got in touch with me. My phone was on silent all weekend. I make sure my apology sounds real because I don't want her to be angry. Natalie is very sensitive, and I've had to learn to be her friend for a long time by being aware of how her mood changes all the time. She believes me, which is good, and she smiles at me. That's fine. But why was your phone on silent? Were you trying to avoid a guy? She says with a laugh and then laughs at the idea like it's the dumbest thing she's ever said. I just look at her and don't know what to do or say. Natalie sees that I'm not saying anything and jumps on it. OMG! You were avoiding a guy. Who is he? What's his name? Is he hot? All of the questions turn into one long, breathless demand for answers, and I think that if I tell her a little bit, she'll leave me alone, finally. I'll tell you, but you have to promise not to tell anyone else. I don't want anyone else to know that I'm talking to Jackson, and I could really use Natalie's help with guys. She can help me figure out what Jackson is doing because she's been with more guys than she has clothes. He is a guy, even though he is a werewolf. I tell her everything once she promises not to tell anyone. I tell everyone at Steamy Bean Cafe how we met through Calla and how we started texting and talking on the phone during our shift. I told her about our date, our first kiss, and how we had to go back to my angry mother in the rain. Of course, I don't tell her about anything supernatural. I don't know if she would be in danger if she knew, and she probably wouldn't believe me if I told her. Natalie stays by my side the whole time I talk to her. Natalie gets really mad when the bell rings to let us know that a new customer is coming in through the front door. It's like entering the coffee shop is a crime against humanity. She annoyingly takes their order and pushes them to hurry up when they take too long. I have to tell her off a few times for being rude, but all she says is that she wants the customers to leave so she can hear the rest of my story. I try to act disappointed on the outside, but I'm really happy that Natalie is such a good listener. Since I've never had any problems with boys before, she's eating up everything I tell her. It's almost the end of our shift when I finally get to the part where we fight. Wait, I don't get it. You went to a club with another guy and you're mad? He was so jealous, you know, she says in a matter-of-fact way. No, he wasn't, I say as I keep mixing the ingredients for a customer's mocha frappuccino. Guys don't get jealous of me like they do of Natalie. He was definitely jealous. He probably went crazy when he found out you were going to a club without him, dressed up with another guy, and ground on each other. Natalie! I yell, making her stop talking while I quickly give the drink I just finished to the customer. I looked at Natalie again and shook my head in disapproval. I didn't even know it was a club until I got there. I thought it was a bar. And I wasn't just going with Felix, Elise was coming too. Natalie shakes her head and says, "It doesn't matter. He was jealous and tried to tell you that he didn't want you to go out with another guy, but you did. Is that why you two aren't talking? If so, you two need to have some makeup right away." I groan and cover my face with my hands, but I can't hide from her rude comments. Why do I hang out with friends who say things that are so rude? Natalie just laughs and puts her arm around my neck. Don't worry, Calla. I bet you and Prince Charming will be back together soon. I mumble, we were never together, and Natalie laughs. Sure, she says, not believing it. Come on, our shift is over. I have to get ready for a date. Who are you going out with? I ask as I take off my Steamy Bean Cafe apron and clock out. Natalie has a big smile on her face that would be very hard to get rid of. I need to know more about her because her smile is contagious. Well, we were so busy talking about your guy that we didn't get to talk about mine. But he's so hot, Calla. He's got bright blue eyes and silky blonde hair that I just want to grab a fistful of. And don't even get me started on his body. I haven't seen it in person, but his Instagram is full of pictures of him working out and he's so freaking hot. I let Natalie's voice fade into the background of my mind. I let her talk about this guy for a long time while I packed my things and walked out the employee door and outside Steamy Bean Cafe. She keeps talking excitedly, and I'm only half listening until I look up and see someone I only expected to see when I wanted to. We need to talk. Felix says, we need to talk, with a look of desperation on his face. Natalie stops talking for a second to look up and see Felix staring at me. Who's this? Natalie whispers loudly. It's the kind of whispering that makes it sound like she's asking me to tell her a secret, but everyone can hear what she's saying. I don't see the point, and I don't want to answer any of her questions in too much detail because Felix is right in front of us. I'm still very mad at him for grabbing me at Nectar Noir and then not letting me go to class today. The idea of what would have happened if Skyla hadn't been there makes me feel sick. Felix, I don't want to talk right now. Are you going to let me go? Or do I have to scream for someone to come and save me again? Natalie looks shocked by the way I'm talking. I've never been the type to start things with anger, but I'm really sick of Felix bothering me. I thought of him as a friend until he started to push me. I can tell that he feels bad about what he did and wants to be forgiven, but forgiveness isn't something you can rush. Calla, I'm really sorry about that. I just really wanted you to talk to me. I still do. I'm so sorry for how things turned out. If you would just let me explain. I don't let Felix finish what he was saying. Instead, I grab Natalie by the arm and pull her right past Felix, who is begging. Natalie usually drives to work and I usually walk, so I'm making it clear to her that I want a ride home as I walk her to the car. She knows I need to stand together, so as we walk by, she turns her head back to Felix and gives him one of her famous glares. Felix grabs my elbow just as I'm about to pass. It's not a hard grip, but it's tight enough that I can't walk any further and Natalie's arm comes out of mine. "I'm sorry," he whispers, and then he starts to mumble words that are too fast and too quiet for me to hear. When I look at him, I'm about to lose it when his eyes do something strange. For a second, they look like they are flashing electric blue, which is much brighter than his normal eye color. "What the heck?" He keeps mumbling words that don't make sense until he lets go of me. As soon as his hand leaves mine, I feel a wave of dizziness and fall back. Natalie catches my faltering form right away and is ready to pounce on him. "Stay away from Calla or else I'm calling the cops. Don't ever touch her again or I'll call my father, the best lawyer around, and he'll make sure you go to jail for assault." Natalie, always the protective friend, waits until Felix backs up before moving her evil glare away from him and giving me a softer look. Felix looks at me again, this time with tears in his eyes. I shouldn't let his tears get to me, but they do, and I start to question my choice not to listen to him. He sighs as a tear falls. "Remember, it didn't have to be this way." He leaves a few minutes later, and I'm left to think about what he said. What is he talking about? I get what he's saying, but I think there's a deeper meaning to it that I'm missing. The blue flash in his eyes didn't go unnoticed by me. But I'm not going to ignore it as I would have a few days ago. Now that I know about the supernatural, I won't take anything for granted. I need to remember to talk to Calla about it. A wolf's eyes turn black, and a vampire's eyes turn red. What kind of animal has blue eyes? On the way home, I think about how one of my friends is a supernatural being again. I start to wonder if Natalie is a person or not when I look at her. I've known her all my life, but how well do I really know her? I have a headache from all of these new thoughts going through my head, and as bad as it sounds, the person I want the most is Jackson. I haven't seen or talked to him since I woke up in the pack house, and I know it sounds cheesy, but I feel like a part of my heart is missing. I thank Natalie for giving me a ride home, and she says it's no big deal. In return for the ride home, she wants me to go to the mall with her this weekend. I don't even try to fight her. I'm happy to spend time with her because she was such a good friend to me. Maisie almost knocks me down when I walk in the door. She always finds a way to surprise me and jump on me, and I'm thankful that most of the time I can keep us both standing. "Calla! It's been so long since I've seen you," she screams into my ear, and I have to fight the urge to cringe back. My ears are ringing, but I can't help but smile and kiss Maisie's face all over as I hug her tightly. I haven't been giving her the attention she needs. I blame college, work, and the supernatural, but that's no reason to ignore her. She only has me and my mom, and I want so badly to be enough for her. "I've missed you. I'm sorry I've been so busy. I promise we'll spend more time together, okay?" She smiles when I say something, and then she goes on to tell me about her day at school. I nod and say a few things here and there as she excitedly tells me about her art projects and her time on the playground. While I set the table, she lies on my hip. My mom is finishing up dinner for us, and I can hear the dishes banging together in the kitchen. I feel a wave of nostalgia wash over me as I realize that it's been a long time since the three of us had dinner together. My mom is always busy with Maisie, and when she's not, she's flying around the world for work. I also haven't made it home in time for dinner every night, so I usually just eat leftovers. I usually work at Steamy Bean Cafe or do my homework, which is a lot of it. Calculus and biology are not fun. I like ethics and psychology a little more than other subjects. When I think about ethics, I think about Felix, so I choose to focus on the cute 6-year-old instead. Maisie says, and then Ivy found a sparkly butterfly necklace in the sand. Ivy said it was a magic necklace and she wanted to keep it. Then she leans in and whispers something else in my ear. I know it wasn't really magic, but I acted like it was because Ivy was so happy about it. She looks up at me like she just told me the biggest secret. I laughed a little, then put Maisie in her usual seat at the table. That was very nice of you, I say, making sure to praise her for being nice to her friend. I know she will appreciate her big sister's praise. She laughs at what I say, and her cheeks turn a bright pink. I guess I know that blushing runs in the family now. My mom comes into the room with the crock pot and big oven mitts on. I smile as I remember the last time Maisie and my mom used it to cook dinner. She called it a pot. My mom went back to the kitchen and brought back some side dishes, potatoes, vegetables, and pasta. Thanks, Mom. This looks great. Maisie claps her hands and makes grabby hands for the pasta. Yeah, thanks, Mommy. Before I get food for myself, I put a lot on her plate. You're welcome, guys. I just thought it would be nice for us to have a home-cooked dinner with all three of us. We all dig in, and I enjoy the seasoned flavors of the chicken dish along with the savory tastes of the side dishes. A few minutes into the meal, my phone makes a noise, and when I unlock the screen, I see that I have about 100 texts. I forgot that I hadn't looked at my phone since the weekend when I ignored everyone. I can see all of Natalie's, Skylar's, and Felix's messages, but I stop scrolling when I see 34 texts from Jackson. As I read the messages, I started to cry a little. Every text I read makes me more and more upset. Broody, please answer, baby. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner, but I'm still the same person. I still love you so much. Broody, I'm falling apart here. Broody, please don't hate me. Broody, Calla, answer the phone right now. Broody, sorry for the last text. I just miss you. Calla? This morning was the last text. My eyes let go of the tears that were forming, like a dam letting go of its water. Join our Facebook and WhatsApp group for more updates, link is given in description. Rest audiobook will be continued in next episode.